Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Charles and this is episode 41 of our mission to Mars. Don't worry, no reason to adjust your screen. This is weird. I am in, that dome that I told you that they asked me to take care of? I'm in another dome today and it's my first look at it. So I figured I would give you a look at it too, because I was a little shocked. Um, you see here the same vehicle that I have. My wife uses that more than I do. I run around everywhere I go and use my tractors and stuff like that. And she uses that to get back and forth to the spaceport when she has to go into the school. As you can see here, it's the same trailer that we started with. And that mine was, had been so junked by the time I got there and everything. I was like, no way that I can possibly stay in that. And they let me pick another house, so I put that in there. And boy, I tell you what, nothing like coming to somebody else's dome to give you a blast from the past. Because not only is it those, but let me kind of show you around this whole area here. And you might notice a few things missing. Yeah, Buster, that was the name of the guy who was here, Buster Potts. And I don't know if that was his real name or whether it was a nickname or what, but that's what all the guys called him, and apparently what he called himself. So Buster here kept his original house. They tell me that he did do the challenge to plant the 10,000 trees, and then planted them and proceeded to cut them all down to take down to the sawmill to make some money out of. And so as we walk out here, you can see, yeah, if you remember way back to my first videos, this is essentially the view that you got. It is completely stripped bare. There is nothing. No extra fields. The mounds of dirt that you can see down here, most of which I had the construction crews come by and remove those and leave me with some flat area, and some of those areas are where I made new fields and put sheds and things like that. And so let me start back at the beginning. I arrived at the spaceport, or at the shuttle port over here, and walked out the door. And I figured, well, okay, I'll walk down and see what kind of house he had. I walked out the door, and that little ATV vehicle was sitting out there. So when he left, he drove it from the house over to there to catch a shuttle, and he was out of here, and just left it sitting there. So I drove it back. It's back by the house. I guess the next farmer they get on this, it'll already be. Well, no, I guess they'll move it down. I think I found mine down by the shop originally. So I guess that's where. Either they'll move it or I'll move it at some point. I will be back over here. There are some fields that do have some crops in them, and I just want to show you around a little bit so you can kind of see the difference. If you've seen my videos, I'll show you this up close, and I'll start with one of my patented off-the-cliff runs here. And we just dropped into where I have created a field, and it is still exactly the way you find it. These all of these that I know of, all of these airlock doors around the farm are closed. You'll remember that this was the dome where all the equipment was originally held, and you'll remember that we tilled this entire thing up and planted some grass in here, and this is where we have our horses. But I'm walking around here and I'm looking at all these tractors and trailer and a trailer and a loading wagon, couldn't think of the name of it, another tractor, you know, other implements as we go around, and I'm looking at these and I'm like, man, wow, these are really, really familiar. And there's another one of our trailers, the harvester, the two headers that go with the harvester, the original headers and everything. The only thing I don't see here is the cotton harvester, and from what they told me, it's pretty much on. You know, they pulled it over to the shop dome when they were looking at that, and basically it's going to be hauled out of here at some point. So there's that. Another field. You can see that he was forced, you know, because those original silos would not hold all of our crops in 800,000 liters. And so I put in an extra silo that was extra big, and apparently, you know, Buster put in 3 extra silos back here to hold everything of his. I'm told that all of those have now been emptied, and they are ready for whoever takes this over next. And so we come over here, and you know, like I say, all of these airlock doors are closed. There's really no reason to go in the domes themselves. He has sold all of the animals. He even sold all the beehives and everything, so those are gone. No extra productions put in here. No other people living on the property or anything. Let's see. Let's start. If I remember correctly, they originally numbered these fields as fields 1 and 2, and we joined ours together. And you see he didn't. This is harvested. So these 2 fields have been harvested, and they were cotton, looks like. And this field is cotton. What have we got? And this field was cotton. How many of these are we going to find? Oh, well, we have a field of corn. That's one of our fields that's currently growing. You know, there was another field down here, and some of my sheds and stuff like that, and you know, still, he didn't change a thing about this farm. There's another field of corn. Let's see, what is that? Wheat, I think. And canola. Did they go all the way down? Yeah, looks like he planted, you know, in groups of 3 all the way down here. Yeah, I didn't join together any of the fields, left them exactly like they were. Oh, well, here's a field that's been harvested. So this was probably one of the last things he did to finish his. Can't tell exactly what this crop was from the stubble, but yeah. So that's it. My son's houses in my dome are over here. There are lots of trees surrounding. We've got a couple of fields over there. The uh, big mounds are gone. Uh, Now, one thing that I did notice from up above when I stepped to the edge and I kind of looked down over, and you can see, there it is. There's where they've moved his cotton harvester to. I'm told it doesn't run, and they never expect it to again. So I guess I don't know if they're gonna break it down and keep it for parts or what, but yeah. Then from the spaceport up there, I saw something down here that looked out of place. Where was it? Oh yeah, there it is. There is a silo that is not original to the farm, and that I can find. This is really the only, other than those silos that Buster had to put in over there for the colony crops. This silo here is the only one that I can find. Only other thing on the farm at all that I can find that he actually added. And I've been thinking about it since I looked down here and I saw this, and I was like, okay, he's put a silo way far away from the other silos over there. It's away from where all of his equipment is stored. I mean, it's near a lot of the fields on this end and stuff. And then I realized, Buster actually maybe did a smart thing here. He's put this silo here, and if we come around to this side over here, we find that this is the cell point. And obviously he has put in a silo back here to store crops that he was growing crops not to sell, or not to keep for the colony, but to sell. And he was putting them in here until the price was at its peak, and then he could load his trailer here and run around with a very short time, and if it took several loads, which if he didn't upgrade his trailers, I imagine it did, and he didn't have far to go with them. So, but yeah, so there's that. Like I say, nothing at all over here. We planted lots of trees in among these trees, so it's much more full. You can see the trees here. I mean, those are evergreen, and you wouldn't even know it was the same time of year in this dome, because in my dome, the trees, they've already changed. They're fully into the autumnal colors, and they're in the oranges and reds and all of that, and it is just everywhere. And wow, this is blank. so I guess, I guess that's good for the guys who are going to have to reset this for the people coming in. But obviously I've had a look around, and I've just run around here and I've seen what we have, and looks like we've got the 3 fields over here, and then those former cotton fields on the other side. And then, I don't know if I said, but these 3 along here, canola, it looks like. So, and looks like it's pretty close to being ready to harvest. So I guess I could get a start maybe on these fields. They need to be. I suppose they want these fields to be cultivated. It's just I'm gonna have to get back over to that dome, see if he left any of those tractors with fuel in them, and maybe get out the see if I can get a worker or two to. Well, I've only got the one. I've only got the one cultivator. And we're not planting anything new, so I won't need the seeder or the planter. Yeah, that same. What was this, like 6 meters wide? I think the planter was a little more than that, but not by a whole lot. So there's our cultivator. I guess I don't know what. Maybe the JCB's sitting here next to it. And let's see. Oh, and I am going to go here, and if you'll give me a second, I am getting a call. Okay, that was unusual. I don't get those kind of calls here much. It said potential spam. It's like, oh great, now Earth is getting so many. Oh no, wait. Will this not hook up to this? Maybe it will. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna take this guy and I'm gonna get him started. And as you can see, I have a little bit of work ahead of me. Hopefully I can contact some workers and get them to come in and finish this cultivating and everything, but I'll get these fields back to as close to the way I found mine as possible, and we'll have to probably pop back over here every few days just to kind of check on the canola over there, because it looks like it's going to be ready to harvest. And so at least I have some slow growing crops, so it won't be excruciating anyway to come over here and do a little bit just with these fields, even though I do have to get them cultivated and everything at the end with this painfully small cultivator. Boy, do I miss my big ones now. But anyway, that it's going to be a short one today, but I just wanted to give you a tour and show you what I found in Buster's Dome. And anyway, I will see you for episode 42, and hopefully we'll be back in my dome, and we will have hopefully some crops to harvest. Now, one thing I'm a little disappointed in, I have kind of gone back and I hadn't paid attention to how much we harvested that soybean field, that one single soybean field, and I kind of had in my mind a number that I kind of thought we might reach with that. And when I harvested and when I put it in the silo, I really wasn't paying attention, and I mentioned something about, well, that number doesn't seem to have changed much. And it was because I went back and I looked at it, and I'm missing some. Sitting here talking and I'm missing rows. I'll go back and grab that little bit, I guess, while I'm finishing up talking before the end of the video. Anyway, what I have discovered is that we got off of that single field of soybeans about a little over 18,000 liters. Now the problem with that is when we harvested our corn, you know, we had in that previous episode that the last time we were harvesting corn anyway. So I guess it was the one before the last episode. So we did that single field, and then we did the double field that was next to it. And the single field produced something like 33,000 liters. So big difference in the 33,000 liters and 18,000 liters. And I didn't really take into account how much lower yielding soybeans were. So even with all of those fields, those big fields that we planted with soybean, I'm faced with the fact that kind of extrapolating out that single field of 18,000 and then taking into account how many total fields or and in the ones that I created approximate those are to the size of one original field. And it's easy with the ones that I combined because I know how many that I put in those. And then I was able to say, okay, 18,000 for each one of those multiplied by however many that I've combined, and I add all of those together. And we are going to have to basically plant all of those fields and maybe some of the smaller fields in addition to that again in order to reach our soybean goal. And is that disappointing. If there were something I could do about that, if I could wave a magic wand and increase the yield on soybeans, that would be exactly what I would be doing right now. So all we can really hope for is that those soybeans somehow grow faster than they're supposed to. So anyway, that is where we stand. I am going to spend, good Lord, I hope a worker, I've put in a call as soon as I looked down and I saw that some of these needed to be done. It's just that, there's nobody in this field, in this dome, and so there's no standing order or anything like that for anybody to come in advance. So I'm having to wait for somebody who's available to take a last minute job. And so anyway, I am going to continue on with this, and I am going to I'm going to spare all of you the pain of having to go through this very slowly. I'm not even going to do a time lapse of it or anything like that. And we'll be back in our dome and hopefully doing some harvesting, although probably not. But we might have some other things to do, because I doubt those soybeans are going to be ready quite yet. So anyway, I want to thank anybody who's been watching. If you could help me out by going down below, hitting the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications for when I post videos. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.